Now to growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus.
The COVID death.
Pandemic.
Coronavirus.
Cap on how much meat.
Slim pickings on some local store shelves.
Crisis is spreading.
Supply chains are disrupted. They can't keep up with the supply.
Trouble grabbing food.
Where's the beef?
It was middle of March when we started to see just people who we had never seen before coming in and buying whatever they could buy.
For us, I think one of the biggest challenges throughout the pandemic was the uncertainty. I mean, this was definitely uncharted territory.
Uncertainties of whether or not people would still, purchase food for takeout only. Everybody's reacting differently to it. There's a lot of stress involved.
Every customer that walked in, my thought was, well, this could be the customer that's bringing COVID into my life.
We're pretty self-sufficient on our farm. It was really hard to get seeds, though.
There's no clear-cut answer to anything, so certainly that was an overarching challenge. So next Tuesday this will be over, or 62 Tuesdays from now, or anything else. That level of uncertainty was extremely challenging.
Personally, the biggest challenge was telling my customers what they had to do in a time when everybody was just trying to figure out how to respond to this COVID thing. At the same time that all of a sudden people started flooding in, we started putting up all sorts of obstacles, like you can't come in, or you have to put face masks on. We never really had the time to reflect on what it was like when we just weren't letting people in the store. And occasionally, like, we would leave the door unlocked, someone would come in, and we'd all freak out because we're like, well, wait a minute, we're not used to seeing people in here, you have to go.
Instead of people walking in the shop, getting an ice cream cone, and kind of hanging out and enjoying one another's company, it was no touching, no breathing on one another, or anything else like that. Grocery stores being empty, and not just the toilet paper aisles, whether it's meat or whether it's cheese. It's something else that we, I think, all have taken for granted for a long time.
There's no meat on the grocery store shelf. Recognize that this was a time when someone needs to step up and keep food moving through the system.
This willingness to keep the food system running during the pandemic was a process that required perseverance. This perseverance did not, however, go unrewarded.
So my original interaction with COVID was pretty positive because we were selling a ton of meat. We have way more customers now than we had pre-COVID.
We saw an increase in demand. People wanted to go back to local, stay out of the grocery stores.
We definitely saw terrific sales.
Grocery store sales were down, small business up.
How can we offer grocery items, or if there are staples that are not in the grocery stores, how can we expand our offerings to do that?
And we actually got calls from people asking, like, do you have any flour? Do you have any? So we were fielding calls for that, which was awesome because we'd send them different ways.
It was definitely more volume than we had anticipated, so that was really cool.
Wanting to buy larger, so instead of a steak, they want to buy half an animal.
This increase in consumers of smaller, local food systems required businesses to make changes to adapt to unprecedented quantities of customers along with COVID boundaries.
The changes we made to adapt was outdoor eating, so changing how we plated food.
We went curbside immediately.
All we did was put a couple freezers out in front of the shops.
But we did build up our tech a little bit. We improved our website, made it easier for people to find the product list.
You could do online order, contactless pickup. So for us, that was the quick change as far as the ice cream business was concerned.
Throughout the pandemic, the farm industry seemed to be prosperous. That does not mean, however, that these businesses did not face some difficult situations and hard questions.
Everything's been shut. Nobody knows when they're going to be back at work or what work's going to look like.
Whether or not, I can keep on all staff.
We also need to manage safety and health for staff and for our customers. Felt like the least I could do if they were still willing to get up every day and come to work when a lot of people weren't.
But through trying times, it takes a strong community to band together and provide the support these businesses needed.
Our customers really adapted well, and there was very little confrontation and challenge.
In general, people were very patient. With that patience came understanding and a little bit more support.
It's just the big town, small town thing. People from small towns know that when crises hit, you have to all band together because you don't have all the resources that bigger communities have.
People in need in our very own small community. It's not on the, the news feed far, far away. It's right here.
In a time that could have torn us apart, we instead came together. Local farming and agriculture not only kept food moving, it also kept the conversation moving.
It's at least some more conversations that are happening at some different folks and some creative ideas too.
It incorporated everyone.
Brings in people from all around us.
And it kept us hopeful during a time we all struggled with.
The interesting thing about COVID is it's something that we all experienced. And I love, that thought of like, this is something that everybody in this entire world, which is amazing to think about it, is going through.